Hi, my name is Jenny. Welcome to my channel JK Star A's Reader. Today I'm doing a mid-month update. It's a mid-month update and I have a few books to talk about, so let's get going. The first book I have to show you, it is The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. I've held on to this book for a number of years and finally it's time to get around to it. I have the new book by this author making its way in the mail to where I live, but before I get to the new book, I think I should actually read the ones that I already have. And so The Silent Patient is the debut novel and it follows Alicia. Alicia seems to live the perfect life. One day her husband arrives at home and she shoots him 5 times in the face and says nothing after that. And so it is up to the psychiatrist at the facility she is held at to figure out the reasons for her crime. And so it'll be bit of a, I guess, guessing game, a psychological thriller. And so we'll see how this author started his career the Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. Next I have another book and this one is The Death of Mrs. Westaway by Ruth Ware. So I'm slowly making my way through the backlist catalog by this author and this is the current read that I am making my way through. I'm currently on page 87 and I found myself reading this while getting around town on the public transit, and so far that's been a good way for me to catch up on some reading. And so far this is a book by follows Hal. She is a tarot card reader and has a kiosk she has inherited from her mother. And so one day she gets a message in the mail saying she has inherited a fortune. She knows this cannot be true, but she decides to see if she can get away with some fortune, as she is struggling to pay rent and have a life she wants with so many things causing her bad luck. And so we'll see where the story goes. This is The Death of Mrs. Westaway by Ruth Ware. Next I have another book and this one is Trust by Hernan Diaz. So I've read a few pages of this book and so far so good. It follows 2 individuals. Let's see. There's a Benjamin and there's Helen. And somehow they form a couple and they make it to the top of society where they have a grand fortune. But what is the cost of this fortune at a time when there is a financial disaster on the horizon? And so we'll see where the story goes and whether they can keep their fortune. I guess that's the story. We'll see where the story goes, as I say, because I'm still fairly I'm only a few chapters in. So yeah, Trust by Hernan Diaz. Next I have another book I've been reading this past month and this one is Fame by Anne Marie MacDonald. So I am reading this as part of a book club, but it seems that I would not be able to join in on the conversation as I will have to miss the book club meeting. But so far, this has been a fairly easygoing read. It follows a young woman who seems to have a strange ailment, and it's something that has caused her father stress and made him decide to keep her away from the rest of society, and he seems to have the fortune and power to do so. And so this is about the young woman growing up and finding out things about society she had been protected from. And so we'll see where the story goes. I am around 250 pages read so far. And so there's many more hundreds of pages to go. So we'll see whether there will be a happy ending. There seems to be one, as this one suggests many fairy tales um, uh, and full of warmth, even though she seems to be isolated from the main character seems to be isolated from the rest of the world. So yeah, Fane by Anne Marie MacDonald. Next, I have another book to show you, and this is a non-fiction title. This one is The Dogs Are Eating Them Now by Graham Smith. So I have a small collection of books from various perspectives on Afghanistan, and this is the current one that I am reading. And this is by a Canadian journalist who later worked for the UN as well as for a non-government organization. And so this book was published in 2013 after the withdrawal of the Canadian forces from the mission. And so we'll see, I guess, a bit of look back at almost a decade of the mission in Afghanistan. So yeah, The Dogs Are Eating Them Now by Graham Smith. This is for a project I can't say at the moment, but it's something that to take note that it's something that I am working on. So yeah. Next, I have a bit of a library haul for you, and a change in tone altogether. So this one is Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert. So I've been seeing so many romance how popular that the romance genre has become, and I tend not to read that many romances. I tend to watch shows and dramas that have romance in them, but I don't tend to actually read any romances. So this is one that I've been holding on to from the library for a number of weeks, and I still have a few more weeks before I have to take it back to the library. So it's time that I get around to it. And this is the first book in the series that looks at women who are related to one another in some fashion. And so this one begins with Chloe. So yeah, Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert. Another book in my library haul, and this one is The Guinevere Deception by Kristen White. At the moment, Kristen White has moved on from the fantasy genre and has released more recently a couple books in the horror genre. And so, but I still am interested in reading her older works, and so this is the one that I have currently from the library. So, and it is a book based on Arthurian legends, and that, which is something that I've had an interest in ever since I learned about King Arthur in junior high. And so we'll see where the story goes, and the story of Guinevere. And so yeah, The Guinevere Deception by Kirsten White. And finally, one more book, and this is the last book in my library haul. This one is Magpie by Elizabeth Day. So this is another bit of crime thriller story, and looks like something to do with the home. And so there's been a great interest examining the life at the home, and the violence that can occur there with people close to one another. And so this seems to be following in that vein. And so yeah, I'll read you a little bit of what it says. So it goes. Marissa and Jake are a perfect couple, and Kate, their new lodger, is the ideal roommate. And not just because her rent payments will give them the income they need to start trying for the baby of their dreams. Except no one is truly perfect. Sure, Kate doesn't seem to care much about personal boundaries, but Marissa brushes her concerns off, knowing that soon Kate will be gone and it will be just Marissa, Jake, and their baby. But then Kate's boundary pushing turns into an all-out obsession with Jake, Marissa, and their future child. Who is this woman, and why does she seem to know everything about them? Yeah, so this is another thriller that takes place at the home, and so we'll see where it goes. With the simple name or title, there's bound to be more to the story underneath the dust jacket. Okay, that's it for me for this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye!